On today's show, we hear from Prime Minister Ayman's perspective on the Dutch government infringing on the budget and on his decision to go on a hunger strike. Plus, we give you the secrets to a long-lasting, happy marriage in today's lifestyle segment. Believe it or not, the secrets have to do with before you actually walk down the aisle. And we keep you up to date on the government situation regarding the budget. 15 on 15 starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. On Friday, a protest took place in front of the governor's office. Prime Minister Mike Ayman led the protest together with several other ministers in an effort to bring their point across to the governor of Aruba. Prime Minister Mike Ayman says it is vital for the governor to sign the 2014 budget that the Parliament of Aruba has passed in order for the government to continue working for the people on the island. The Prime Minister of Aruba has announced a hunger strike until the governor signs the budget. The Dutch government is said to be the blame for which the governor is holding Aruba's budget hostage.
We have a situation where the Dutch government in an illegal way is interfering with the autonomy of Aruba. Aruba has fought for more than 60 years to have the autonomy we have today. Our government was re-elected a couple months ago with the largest majority in history in the constitutional status that we have today. And during the last couple of months, the Dutch government tried to interfere with the way that we see our community. As other parts of the world, Aruba has also gone through the crisis, and this crisis caused an enormous withdrawal in our GDP, but we fought, we invested, and we changed the course of our island.
Prime Minister Ayman says the island is growing economically. The leader says we have to fight for what Aruba has the rights to. Aruba earned its independent status from the Kingdom of the Netherlands for a reason. In order for the government to be able to continue working for the people and working on the island, the budget has to be approved.
Aruba has now the largest GDP growth in the Dutch kingdom, larger than the Netherlands. The lowest unemployment in the kingdom, lower than the Netherlands. Aruba has a future. Aruba has a sustainable vision where it's not only sustainable in the energy sense, but also sustainable in the sense of harmony, in the sense of giving citizens participation. And it is very important that we stand for this right. And at this moment, the Dutch, in an illegal way, are trying to hold hostage our budget. And for that reason, we will have enormous effects on the possibility of the government of Aruba to pay for the allowances of our children, to take care of our elderly, to take care for everyone in Aruba that needs to be taken care with our budget.
While the budget is not signed, the Prime Minister feels helpless and responsible. Therefore, on Friday during the protest, he vowed to take serious actions.
If we are going to take away the bread of our children, if we are going to make it impossible to take care of our elderly and our citizens, then I take responsibility here today and say, I will not eat. I will go on a strike. I will have a hunger strike up until the governor signs the budget so that we can take care of our people and that this illegal interference with the autonomy of Aruba is stopped.
The issue with the Dutch government infringing on Aruba's budget requires an institution to outline whether this is illegal or not. This is according to the Prime Minister. Now, Prime Minister Ayman says a high court is needed in this case to make a ruling to end this.
At this moment, the government of the Netherlands is interfering illegally with the budget of Aruba, and in the constitutional system of the kingdom, unfortunately, we don't have a Supreme Court, we don't have a constitutional body to go to check what the government of the Netherlands is doing, if that is legal, because we know it's illegal, and we want to present to the world the fact that this constitutional system needs to have a Supreme Court where these decisions can be evaluated. And if that needs to bring us to the United Nations, we will go to the United Nations.
Aruba's Prime Minister says if necessary, a formal complaint will be issued and the United Nations will be contacted. Now, after the break, we will have your lifestyle topics varying from the top 3 secrets to a happy, healthy, and successful marriage. Believe it or not, the secrets all have to do with before you actually walk down the aisle. Then we will get into how a new study says smelling farts is actually good for you. How crazy is that? And we tell you how the women around the world watch the World Cup. All that and much more coming up when we come back. Welcome back from the break. There are actually secrets to a happy, healthy, long-lasting marriage, but this all starts before you walk down the aisle. 3 factors specifically contribute to a happy marriage. Take a look. For starters, tying the knot before the age of 25 helps for a long-lasting marriage. Couples who are older than 25 when they marry are far more likely to stay married than those who get married at a younger age. That is because the experience and wisdom that comes with age contributes to the success of marriage. Number 2, you walk down the aisle with a stable job. Individuals who earn over $50,000 per year have a drastically lowered risk of divorce than those who make under $25,000 a year. This makes sense. People who have a steady job and income face fewer pressures than those who are financially dependent, which means less strain on their relationships. And last but certainly not least, you have a college degree. Not only are college-educated women more likely to get married than their less educated counterparts, but they are more likely to have marriages that last. That's because education tends to increase your tolerance of other people's views, and that is critically important in successful relationships. And switching gears, this is an interesting new study. It says that smelling farts is, get this, good for your health. Researchers say exposure to hydrogen sulfide, which is what your body produces as bacteria breaks down food, could prevent mitochondria damage. People are taking the research to mean that smelling farts could prevent disease and even cancer. The study, published in the Medicinal Chemistry Communications Journal, found that hydrogen sulfide gas in rotten eggs and flatulence could be a key factor in treating diseases. Although hydrogen sulfide gas is well known as a pungent, foul-smelling gas in rotten eggs and flatulence, it is naturally produced in the body and could in fact be a healthcare hero when significant implications for future therapies for a variety of diseases. Interesting, indeed. Soccer is a sport for both men and women. This statement is easily proven when you look around to see who was watching the World Cup games. With the help of social media, it gave analysts an insight as to how the women around the world watched the World Cup. A Facebook poll discovered women generally rooted for the underdogs during the World Cup games. 43% mentionings of Iran on social media came from women. 45% were on Costa Rica and 40% on the USA, which all 3 teams were considered underdogs. Then analysts took a look at who the women were talking about. Of course, the handsome Cristiano Ronaldo had 31% of mentionings on social media by women, but this is less than anticipated. Women aren't only talking about good-looking players, but also good players such as Yentl Lieuw from Brazil and Colombia's goalie. So let all the stereotypes be broken down now. Coming up next, we have this. Take a look. Aruba's prime minister going on a hunger strike has not only dominated headlines locally on the island, but internationally the story is picking up as well. Check this out. If you type into Google's search engine on Prime Minister Mike Eamon going on hunger strike, a number of news articles pop up. From Canada's CTV News covering the island's situation to USA Today. Each of the articles have the correct fact, stating the hunger strike comes after the Dutch government asked Aruba's governor to hold off on signing the 2014 budget into law pending an evaluation of it. The Dutch Caribbean island, which approved the budget 2 weeks ago, is facing a major deficit, and its national debt represents 75% of its GDP. Multiple news sources goes on to say Aruba Prime Minister Mike Eamon said he considered the Dutch request a direct attack on Aruba's autonomy and said he will continue the hunger strike until the governor signs the budget. This brings light to the fact that it isn't only the island and the Caribbean region putting the issue in the spotlight, but Aruba's leader participating in a hunger strike is garnering international recognition. meaning the Dutch's influence on the governor's decision to sign the budget is being made aware, but also this means Aruba's deficit is being made more publicly known. There has been further developments on this story. On Monday morning, Prime Minister Mike Eamon held a press conference to elaborate as to why he is on this hunger strike and what it will take to stop. On Monday morning, Prime Minister Mike Eamon, together with Ministers Juan David Idoshkin, Anmar Odeber, Benny Zevinger, Mike de Meza, and Alex Schwengel held a press conference. The local press members were in attendance to address any questions they have for Aruba's leader. Also in attendance were Dutch press members who were able to attend via Skype, and they also asked questions to Aruba's leader as well. Prime Minister Eamon reiterated the fact that he will not stop until the governor signs the 2014 budget. Emotions ran high during this conference. At the end, a press member asked how the Prime Minister's health is doing and what it will take to stop the hunger strike. He answered the last part first and said once the budget is signed, he will go off the hunger strike. In terms of his health, he said there is a tremendous amount of pressure on him right now. But the Prime Minister's emotions got the best of him and he couldn't continue the press conference any longer. And that is it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here with the latest on Tuesday night, starting at 7:15 p.m. with the latest in lifestyle topics and the latest on the island. So we will see you then.